You know, we've all seen the classic nativity scene, right? But have you ever stopped to think about what it was actually like for the people involved? Well, today, we're diving deep into that very story, not just as some far-off divine event, but as a deeply human drama, full of faith, doubt, and frankly, an unbelievable destiny. So let's peel back the layers of this timeless tale. And that really gets to the heart of what we're exploring. How does something so divine happen in a world that is so, well, human? We're going to look at how this truly extraordinary birth happened under the most ordinary, and let's be honest, often difficult circumstances. And the story, it doesn't begin with kings or prophets. It starts with a simple carpenter facing a choice that seems absolutely impossible.
So let's start with Joseph. He's a carpenter, a regular guy whose entire world is about to be turned completely upside down. He's suddenly faced with a revelation that challenges everything he knows and puts his future and his heart right on the line.
Okay, just try to imagine hearing these words in a dream. An angel appears to Joseph, trying to calm his fears about Mary, the woman he's engaged to, who is now pregnant. I mean, this is the divine revelation, the moment that basically shatters his entire understanding of how the world works. And this, right here, is his very human response. And can you blame him? It's a question that is just dripping with the weight of feeling completely and totally inadequate. The responsibility must have felt immense, almost crushing. But the answer he receives is just profound. It turns out it's not about your status or power or how much money you have. Joseph is chosen because of his character, his righteousness, his compassion. His worthiness comes straight from his heart, not his social standing. So, with his doubts settled, Mary and Joseph now face the future as a united front. This simple statement says it all. It shows their shared commitment. Whatever is coming next, they're going to face it together, bound by a faith and a plan that, let's be real, they probably couldn't fully comprehend.
And just when they find some fragile peace, the massive gears of an empire start to turn. An order comes down from Caesar Augustus, literally the most powerful man in the world, and it's going to completely change their plans and set them on a long, hard journey.
And there it is. A stark, impersonal command straight from the heart of the Roman Empire. This has nothing to do with destiny or prophecy. It's all about imperial administration. It's about taxes. It's a decree that just throws the lives of millions into chaos, including, of course, a young couple in the tiny town of Nazareth. So let's just break down what this actually meant. Everyone had to travel back to their ancestral town to be counted. For Joseph, who was a descendant of King David, that meant a long, long journey south to Bethlehem. And he has to do it with his wife, who is very, very pregnant. Okay, so now let's follow them on the road. And I want to be clear, this was not some comfortable road trip. This was a grueling trek, probably on foot and maybe with a donkey, across rugged terrain, with all sorts of dangers lurking around every corner. This timeline just gives us a little glimpse into their tough journey. Imagine days of just relentless walking, nights spent out in the open, and the constant worry for their safety and for Mary's well-being. Getting to Bethlehem wasn't just about arriving, it was a hard-won victory. And in these simple words from Joseph, you can basically hear their entire survival strategy. It's all about relying on each other and having this unwavering faith that they're not alone on this difficult road. It's really a quiet prayer for guidance and for protection. So, they finally make it. They're exhausted, and what do they find? Total chaos. Because of the census, Bethlehem is overflowing with people. And so, their desperate search for a place to rest, a safe place for Mary to give birth, begins.
The rejections come fast and they are brutal. The very first door is slammed shut with a blunt dismissal. No room, no sympathy, nothing.
The next one is even harsher. It's not just a rejection, it's a judgment. They're looked at like they're just poor travelers, not even worthy of a room if one was free. Their vulnerability is met with just total scorn.
And finally this, just pure, unfiltered frustration. Can you even imagine their despair? Hearing this after a week on the road, with Mary's time so close. It's the sound of every single door slamming shut, leaving them feeling completely and utterly hopeless. But then, a tiny glimmer of hope. Look, it's not what they were hoping for, not even close. But in their desperation, this simple offer of a stable, a place for animals, feels like a lifeline. It is the only shelter they can find. And this is where the story pivots on this incredible contrast. The setting, it couldn't be more humble, yet the event that's about to unfold will literally change the course of human history.
So here, in this quiet stable, surrounded by animals, away from all the noise of the crowded inn, a child is born. It's this incredibly intimate, peaceful moment, a really stark contrast to the chaos they just went through.
But while the stable is silent, the heavens just erupt. Nearby, an angel appears to a group of shepherds with a powerful, world-changing announcement. The divine story suddenly breaks through into the human world in this blaze of glory.
The angel's message is so specific. It gives them the what, the who, the where, and the how. And get this, the sign of the Messiah isn't going to be a crown or a palace, but a baby lying in an animal's feeding trough. This message connects those shepherds directly to that humble stable.
And when the shepherds get there, they find everything exactly as the angel said it would be. And in that moment, these strangers, a young couple far from home and a bunch of local field workers, are brought together, all sharing in the wonder of this moment. The stable becomes this place of shared joy and confirmation.
And this, right here, is the heart of the whole story. On one side, you have the raw, earthly reality of the birth, and on the other, you have this grand heavenly proclamation and these cosmic signs announcing its significance to the entire world. You know, this story shows us that extraordinary things often begin in the most ordinary places, and it leaves us with a really fascinating thought. How could a single, quiet moment in a forgotten corner of the world create an echo so powerful it would still be heard for millennia to come?